All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the call this evening. If you would be so kind, please put the letter Y in the question box if you can hear me. Good to see everybody here tonight. You get my lighting turned on here. Excuse me. Um, and we'll get started shortly. So once again, if you can hear me, please put the letter Y in the question box, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I do have a question I'm going to be working with here this evening. And okay, great. Thank you, everybody. I want to kind of talk a little bit about streaming video. I have at least one question that someone else has submitted. So if you have any questions, why don't you go ahead and write them there in the box. Hello there, Wayne. Good to see you. Um, and then we'll kind of go in that order. And my intention, as always, is to keep you 30 minutes, not all night. And I'm sure you all have things to do. And that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Let me turn on my presentation, and let's see. Switch that out. And hello there, Brad. Oh, good, Brad. Good to see you. All right. Okay, so let me start with, and good thing Brad's here. So I'm gonna start with a question that he has. Once again, if you have a question, go ahead and write it there in the box. And so here's Brad's question. He actually purchased WP Coursify. He has some video PLR courses. I know a lot of you all already have PLR courses. You probably have purchased some from Laurel and I. So he's got a video hosting account, and his plan is to use the stream videos instead of making them available for download. And I have a few thoughts on that. So his question is, which one's going to have more perceived value? And then do I have some thoughts on pricing? So I'm going to get into that tonight, and let's kind of go forward here. Okay, first let's talk about some ways that you can serve video, basically. So, and when I say serve video, I mean show videos to people who are either buying a product from you, or buying a membership from you, or buying something from you. And one of the things that we want to assume is that you're going to have some people who are going to be on their mobile device. You're going to have some people who are going to be at their PC. You do want to have a sense for who your demographic is. If you have a lot of people who are going to be on their mobile device, that would kind of dictate the way you're going to go with some of how you're going to serve video. If you have most of the people who are on their PC, then that's going to kind of dictate what it is that you do. I have some ideas about how many of you are watching from your PC, just based on what YouTube tells me, based on what Google tells me. I have a pretty good idea that a number of you are probably on your PC or on some kind of MacBook or something that looks like a laptop. But there is a small percentage of people who are actually probably looking through a mobile device. But your niche might be different, and your market might be different, and your customers might be different. And so even before I start this, one thing I really want to encourage you to do is to go into something like your YouTube Analytics or your Google Analytics and determine where people are watching from, because that will dictate some of how you're going to go with serving video. And so basically, in order to work with WP Coursify, you're going to need an embed code. And so let me kind of show a little bit of WP Coursify here. I put up a WP Coursify site here. I'm going to go in here for just a second, And as you know, WP Coursify is a way for us to be able to basically put a course site together, right? So basically, you're gonna have these courses, and these courses are gonna have videos here. And some people are gonna actually use this. Are gonna use PLR in order to do this. And so what you're gonna need in order to put the video inside of the courses is you're gonna need an embed code. And you can get that embed code from a number of different places. So let's start with that point, assuming that you're sort of going to need an embed code in order to serve the video, right? So now Brad uses a monthly service called Wistia, and you can find that, I believe, at wistia.com. I think the cheapest one is maybe $24 a month, or something, or 17. That is one way to serve video. And as long as serving the video gives you the additional advantages that you would actually not gain by using something that might be like YouTube, or your audience expects not to see you on YouTube, and that could be. And so the $25 a month may not be a big expense, given what your audience is expecting. So Wistia is a way to be able to serve video. Another way of being able to serve video is to have a video player. There is what's called Easy Video Player. I think that it is still available. It's considered to probably be the industry leader. You can actually have the video on a site, and then you can get an embed code from your site and then put that embed code inside of WP Coursify, right? And you can actually do that. And now the player that I recommend in terms of its affordability as well as the features is going to be the VU player. The VU player will allow you to be able to serve the video from both YouTube as well as from Dropbox and some of the other free storage sites. So VU Player is one of the sites that I would recommend if you're going to actually go out and buy a video player. And now if you're gonna, now like I said, with VU Player, you can actually serve it from YouTube, and you can actually serve it from Dropbox through VU Player. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about here tonight is going to be YouTube. And one of the reasons why I think Brad and a number of people are using a service like Wistia is because it gives you some features that you don't get with YouTube, obviously. One of the things that Wistia does is it allows you to serve something at the beginning of the video, and then have that connected with the video, and then something at the end of the video that people can click on, and you can actually reverse some of the order. Now, one of the things I do want to show you tonight is one of the ways that you could do this with YouTube if, let's say, you didn't want to go with Wistia, or you sort of want to start your membership first, and then once your cash flow was up, then you wanted to come back to something like Wistia, right? So let's what I want to do here is I want to pull up my main YouTube account. That's going to be a little tricky. Yeah, I think I can slide it over there. Okay. And let's see. I need to get my main account here. And let's see if I can just get into my main account. Or it could be I'm using it. Okay, it's sort of I'm using it, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, we can still take a look at doing this inside of some of the other videos. Okay, there's my channel. Okay, so let's go inside here, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go inside of my Creator Studio. And some of this we actually talked about last week. Let's just go to the Video Manager. And this is actually going to be something I am going to be doing as part of, I did a little bit last week of what I call the YouTube Hackathon I'm actually going to do all of this in that upcoming. But let's go ahead and let's just kind of look at this. Now, you're going to be able to do this in a couple of steps, and it's not going to be as easy as doing it in something like Wistia, but it is possible to have the additional features in order to give people something to click on, as well as to be able to serve pre-roll and post-roll video. Now, one of the ways you're going to be able to do this is using in-screen, and we talked about that last week. In other words, you're going to be able to serve a link to your customers once they finish watching your video, and it's going to be clickable to a site that you designate, as long as that site is connected to your YouTube channel. You're also going to be able to serve YouTube cards, and this is actually going to be a way of your being able to, you notice that you can place a playlist, you can direct people to a channel, fan funding, or a particular link. I can actually link to my associated website. I can actually link to merchandise sites, and I can link to crowdfunding sites. Now, if I have a merchandise site like, let's say that you have what's the one? Is it Teespring? I think you can link up with Teespring. You can link up with Cafe Press, and you can link directly from the video. And so this is important because you want to be able to serve people a video with the actual link in it while they're there. And so as long as your associated website has your content in it, then you can link directly from the video, either before the video or after the video, in that way. So you would use both the cards, YouTube cards, or you can actually use annotations, right? The annotations, now the only issue with annotations, and this is where we kind of talked about, you want to know who your, let me stop me from talking. You want to know kind of where your audience is, because in some cases, if most of your audience is not going to be on mobile, annotations is always going to be the way to go. If you have mostly mobile, or even half, or even a significant number, you want to make use of the end screens and the cards, because both of those are going to be showing on mobile. But both of those give you options in terms of allowing people to have links that are clickable inside of the video that you are going to be placing inside of WP Coursify or on a website. Is everybody with me on that? Okay, is everybody with me on that? So I know I'm kind of flying through this, but I did some of this last week when I talked about in screens, right? So understanding how these things work will allow you to use YouTube, will allow you to embed YouTube into what it is that you are doing, and to be able to serve video. Now, the other thing now is when we start talking about pre-roll and post-roll video, right? Pre-roll and post-roll video. If I come to this upload screen, what I'm going to come to, and I've actually done this before, is the video editor, right? What does the video editor allow me to do? Well, the video editor allows me to combine videos. So I can actually combine my pre-roll video here, my post-roll video here, and then when I actually combine those videos, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm actually going to be able to make one video start to finish, but I'm going to actually have 3 videos put together, right? And I can actually do that. Now, in effect, what you're doing is you're creating a new video, but you're actually saving the time because you are using videos that are already in YouTube that you have uploaded and designated for pre-roll and post-roll. Right, so understanding that you can actually use linking, you can actually use pre-roll video, and you can actually use post-roll video if you use the video editor and you already have your videos inside of YouTube. Is everybody with me? So if you get what I'm saying, please use the number. Please put the number 1 in the question box. And when I go on, okay, because again. When you're creating courses, you know, in this case, Brad's going to be creating courses inside of WP Coursify. And when he does that, what's going to happen is he's really going to be, and I think I can kind of go back here. And let's see if I add, let's see, I don't know where you add content here. Yeah, so Brad's question is the key thing is to understand the workflow. Yeah, so you want to understand the workflow and the ability to create embeds. That's right. The other thing you want to understand is whether or not people are going to be watching from their mobile. Right now, as I understand it, WP Coursify is mobile enabled. So they're going to actually be able to see this from a mobile device, or they're going to actually be able to see it from their PC. But your embed is going to be based on what it is you do, right? Okay, yeah, Brad confirms that. Yeah, it is mobile enabled. Okay, so any questions about that? Any questions? All right, so yeah, so there's YouTube. So I talked about end screens, talked about annotations, and so another alternative. And for those of you, let's say that you really you want to have some alternatives, right? You want to have some alternatives. There's a WordPress plugin that I talked about last week. I mean, we've got it for sale. It's called VidRoll, and what VidRoll does is it allows you to serve pre-roll and post-roll video. Now, you probably won't be able to use that with Coursify, but if you didn't want to use Coursify, or you had a situation where you wanted to serve video, but you didn't want to use your courseware, you would use a plugin like VidRoll. Okay, and if you want to see what VidRoll actually works like, I've got a link here. I'm going to actually show it to you. I don't have a link where it is up for sale, but I can show you what it works like. Okay, so VidRoll, and I'll probably make it available for sale either late next week or sometime or another. But anyway, what VidRoll does is VidRoll will allow you to serve a video from YouTube, or allow you to serve your video from Amazon S3. And what you're doing is you're actually going to be able to combine clickable links. So you're going to be able to do the same thing we did in YouTube, except you're going to be able to do it on your site. So you're going to have more options available to you than what YouTube locks you into. And all this is going to be available on your site. So if you want to do it apart from your courseware, you could use a WordPress plugin that, again, allows you to place clickable links on top of your video, whether or not those videos are from YouTube or from Amazon S3 or for someplace else that you serve them, right? So those are all the ways that you can actually serve video. Now, Brad asked about pricing and traffic. So I want to talk about this a little bit now. Pricing and traffic. So let's get into this. So one of the questions that I always kind of go through is, now, how are you and I going to be getting traffic, right? Are we gonna pay for that traffic up front? Are we going to get affiliate traffic where we pay for it on the back end? That'll sort of determine some of the pricing we're going to do. And I'll talk about that specifically when it comes to WP Coursify. Now, if we're going to use affiliate traffic, we want to leave the pricing on WP Coursify high. Now, let me show you what I mean by that. Right now, we're going to have an advertised price on WP Coursify, and so of course we can give coupons to allow people to lower the price, but coupons can be a little problematic because you don't quite know when to expire them, and you don't quite know how people are going to get out. I mean, how they're going to get out. And so coupons are really hard to control, even for an online marketer, right? Especially when you and I are not necessarily working with consumers. So I would say that coupons are sort of a last resort. You want to have your highest price on the Coursify site, right? The highest price should be here. I'll tell you why that is here in a minute. And in terms of what the price should be, I would be looking at sites like Udemy, Teachable, and other platforms, right? Other platforms as a guide. Now, as a rule, I would not be looking at both JVZoo and Warrior Plus, because as an internet marketer, you were buying on JVZoo, you were buying pretty much at wholesale, right? You were not buying at retail. So you don't necessarily want to look at those as a guide unless you were selling to other warriors, other people on JVZoo and other people. So if that's the case, then you do want to look at those sites as a guide in terms of pricing. If you are not, then you want to look at what you're paying on JVZoo, Warrior Plus, Zaxa, all those sites. You want to look at that as wholesale, and you want to look at the retail price. And once again, we're going to keep the retail price on our WP Coursify, right? We're going to keep our retail price on the site. Okay, now, what I would do is I would offer better pricing through an affiliate network like JVZoo, right? I would offer a better pricing through an affiliate network like JVZoo. And now JVZoo doesn't necessarily connect directly to WP Coursify. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to suggest JVZoo. I'm going to suggest it for two reasons. Number one is to be able to generate recurring income. Number two is going to be selling your business. So what do I mean by that? Let's say that you want to create a membership, and what you want to do is you want to give someone a course inside of your WP Coursify once a month, right? You want to once a month give people a course. Now, you could have them pay through your PayPal link and connect that to WP Coursify. However, you'd be a little limited if you ever wanted to sell the site. So if you wanted to build a little business, you want to get some students, you want to create a recurring income and then sell the site, what you have is you have a cash flowing asset, right? And so all of us should always be looking at everything we build in internet marketing as a cash flowing asset that potentially we can sell. And one of the things that, and I don't really have time to get into this specifically right now, but it sort of works like if you have a cash flowing asset and you're gonna sell it, what that does is it allows you to take something out of your inventory and sell it in order to get cash flow, as opposed to having to sell, right, individual products for when you need a windfall. Right? If you have a cash flowing asset and you need a windfall, you don't even have a lot of complicated rules when it comes to real estate. You can actually just sell this outright, and whatever you get for the site is pretty much what you're going to be paying. You're going to pay tax on whatever that is. There's no complication to it, right? And so that would be the reason that I would suggest that if you have any ambition ever to want to sell a site, or in order to create a revenue stream where you're actually selling an asset, well, you'd want to use something like JVZoo in complement with WP Coursify, also because the statistics are verifiable, right? You have third-party verifiable statistics. The other thing is you can also transfer ownership of the product to the new buyer. Right. So all of those reasons are reasons why you'd want to consider. Right. And again, you might not want to do any of that. Right. You might not want to do any of that. You might not want to use JVZoo, not want to use Coursify in order to have a membership. You might just want to have a WP Coursify in order to sell stuff, which is cool. But if you ever wanted to have it to be an asset or something that was appreciating, then you could always have it and in concert with JVZoo as something that you could transfer to somebody very easily. Okay. Now, a couple of things about that, a couple of things about flipping it. And again, that this all goes to pricing, because if you're going to actually flip the site, then what's going to be important is going to be sales. And you're going to treat it just like anybody else would treat any other cash flowing asset. The most important thing is to create a cash flowing asset. You're not necessarily all that concerned that the income has to be high. You got to get the cash flow coming. You got to get traffic coming to the site, and then you're going to sell the asset. Now, one thing that I would suggest is that if you're going to go that route, is that you actually put the WP Coursify, right? That you actually put this in a subdirectory. So you notice here, I've got this in, and again, I just did a demo, but I've got this in a subdirectory. And so what I'd be doing is I would be using this domain, right, for all the other stuff. I'd put a nice front page on it. I'd put a nice brand on it, because again, it makes it easier to sell. So I would put WP Coursify in the subdirectory. I would have my brand here. And again, all that lends itself to your being able to create an asset to sell. And that's going to affect how you price. Excuse me. Because what you want to do is you want to price the products to sell. And you want to price the products to sell where? Inside of JVZoo, and not necessarily on the site. You want the site to reflect the actual price. Now, if you're wondering how you're going to get to, you're going to get the people inside of the course, well, you're going to give them a coupon code that's going to give them free access to the course, but they would have already paid you through JVZoo, right? So you want to control that. And the other reason you want to control that is because you can actually increase the number of sales and increase the cash flow by recruiting affiliates, right? By recruiting affiliates. And again, I would offer it through a traditional sales page system. Now, I'm gonna talk about why I say this here in a minute. In this case, even though I would typically suggest you might think about Genius Marketing Pro, or if some of you all own Leadpages, I would not suggest that in this case. Once again, because what you and I could not do is it would be difficult for us to sell the site, right? And then give people access to our Leadpages account, Genius Marketing, and all that stuff. They'd have to get accounts for all that, and that would just make it complicated. However, we could sell it with an optimized press theme. We can actually do that and actually sell them the developer's license, or make that part of the price, right? So it's a lot easier to do if we're going to give them the theme, and they're going to have to buy that theme, and then we actually price that into when we make the sale. All right, now I'm going to say that when you sell this on a JVZoo or Warrior Plus, the other thing you're going to be able to do is you're going to be using a traditional sales page. So you're going to be able to actually use bonuses. And I would highly suggest that you do that. And again, that will then determine the price, right? That'll then determine the price. So how do you get someone? One of the things, if the price is high here and they're getting a break on the price, and you're including a bonus, then what you're doing is you're increasing the odds that you're going to make the sale. Okay. And what we're trying to do, whether it's on JVZoo or whatever the case is, we're trying to get the value in people's minds, so it's a no-brainer for them to buy, right? It has to be a no-brainer for them to buy, even from that site. And what the WP Coursify site does is it shows we've got some courses there. It also shows that if they're going to join a membership, they're actually going to get something that's already in motion. And again, that determines what your price is going to be. Now, again, you can actually sell these courses outright, and you can just have them compared to what's on Udemy, compared to what's on Teachable, if you just want to kind of sell it from your courseware, right? From your courseware site. But if that's not the case, then what you're going to do is you are going to then just try to get it to the point where you are offering enough of a bonus where, and this is something that multi-level marketers do extremely well, and they talk about a lot. In having, now I'm not the world's greatest multi-level marketer, and I'm not in a multi-level marketing business. Now, when I was in it, I did make some money, right? But I kind of figured out who I was. I'm this geeky guy who likes to teach, right? And I was just more comfortable doing what I'm doing now. But again, it was some of the best training that I've ever had, because it's where I came to understand that you needed to have 10 times the value before you ask someone for some money. And so what you and I have to be able to do with the courses is we've got to make sure that the customer knows that what we're asking them for is going to be 10% of what the actual value is. And this is where having an advertised price on our courseware and then actually selling it through the through an affiliate network is going to give us some advantage, because we can always eliminate the the sale on the affiliate network, and then just go back to the regular price. Right? We can make sure that's going to be a special pricing. We can make sure that our affiliate's only going to be promoting for 4 days, and we can say, pretty much, hey, you know what? We're offering this at 80% off the current price. You can have affiliates promoting, and then when those 4 days are over, you're just going to turn it off. And then if people want to buy it, or if they missed it, they go to the site and get it. Right? So it gives you some flexibility if you use both the network and WP Coursify. Now, I know a lot of you all already have WP Coursify who's on this call, so I thought it'd be a good idea for me to do that. So Brad's question actually led to me kind of think. I know that those of you who have it, you would benefit for it. Those of you who don't have WP Coursify, I do have some bonuses that I put together. If you are still looking to get it, it's a really kind of cool program. And so those of you who are looking to get it, what I've done is I put together your first 12 courses, with master resale rights, so you can add those courses to your site. And then I'm actually giving you the bonuses you're going to be able to use. So I've given you 12 plugins with master resale rights. And then you are then going to be able to use the courses and the plugins together, just like I talked about on this call, on JVZoo or Warrior Plus, or however you do it. And you are then going to be able then to increase your odds of being able to get the sale. So again, all you need to do is to go over to superfastactionbonus.com/Coursify. And now they do have a developer and a pro edition. For those of you who get the pro edition or the developer edition because you want to use it in order to flip your site, then you're going to need to get the developer edition, or you need to get the pro edition. And so I'm going to actually give you that WordPress plugin when you actually pick up the back end. So either the developer edition or the pro edition, I will add in the VidRolls plugin when you pick it up. Again, you go on over to superfastactionbonus.com/Coursify. Okay, so any questions on anything I covered here tonight? I know I kind of went through a lot. We're at 35 minutes, so I'm already at my limit. But any questions? Any questions from anyone? Any questions? Okay, any questions? Okay. If you have a question that you'd like to see me cover on my next call, please feel free to email me. I'd be happy to consider it. And Brad, hope this was helpful for you. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate that. And everybody else, thank you very much for spending your Saturday evening with me. I certainly appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you around about midweek, and where we're going to be doing the PLR show. And I've got something really good to kind of talk to you about on Wednesday. Okay, everybody. So thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care. Yes, I will have a replay. Actually, Nicole, you should be able to see. I'm thinking you should be able to see it. I've got it in the it's in the Facebook group. I'll put the link to the Facebook group here, and I'll be uploading it there also. So the group is facebook.com/groups/the PLR show, and you'll be able to find it there. Okay, everybody. So thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you all. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.